This is a demonstration for the assignments that we've been working on for the week. We started last Friday. One is the problem that had the diamond shapes in the middle. And today we started on another one that was the Tic Tac Toe Board. So what we're going to do is utilize our object lines layer to actually draw the object on. I'm going to change the color here so you can actually see it. Now you have the option of using a different color. The only thing is that when you get ready to print, you have to change it to something that's a little bit darker. So it'll come out yellow, doesn't really show up on white paper. So you can't really use that too often, but it can be still used. All right, so we're gonna start this process out by using a rectangle. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently than what I did in class. And what we're gonna do is make a 2.50 square. So we're gonna type in 2.50 and then we're gonna hit the tab key. Then type in 2.50 again. It's going to give us a 2.50 square. All right, so in order to make it into a diamond shape, it's just a simple rotation. So we're just going to simply use rotate. Select it, hit the enter button, and then as you see, we can pretty much rotate it at any angle, but just to make sure we got the right angle, we're going to type in a 45 and hit the button. And that's going to make it into a nice diamond shape. All right, so next we have our rectangle on the outside. So there's a few ways you can actually do this. I'm going to do it like this. Now, if your mouse moves freely about like this, you're going to turn your ortho on, which is that 90-degree angle symbol at the bottom. And we're just going to draw some random lines around the edges from each one of the corners. It doesn't really matter how long I make it. And once I make the line, I hit the enter button. Or you can hit the space bar also. All right, so now what we're going to do is actually shape this into the square that goes around the object. So we're not going to stretch it or do anything else. We're going to use a command which is called fillet. All right, so what fillet does is it allows us to close the corners up. We can close them up at a 90-degree angle, or we can close them up with a radius. In this case, we're going to use a 90-degree angle. All right, so to make sure that we are using a 90-degree angle, we're going to type in the letter R, hit the enter button, and we're going to check our radius. And as we see right now, our fillet radius is set for 1. So I'm going to change it to 0 and hit the enter button. Then I'll be ready to start. All right, so I'm going to select a line, and I'm going to pick another line to close it up. And I'm just going to restart the command by hitting the enter button. And I'm going to go around. So when you select this, you have to also make sure that you select inside corners. If you select outside of the object, such as, let's say I did this one and that one, it will cut it off. So you have to make sure. In fact, I'll demonstrate that. I'll show you. If I did that, it's going to go the wrong direction. So you have to make sure that you select in the right spot. All right, so next, we're going to make our little lines across here. And we're just going to go from corner to corner. And then we're going to trim. So select trim. I'm going to hit the enter button once to select my cutting edges. And I'm just going to cut those off. All right, so that leaves me with this. Okay, so we can go ahead and put the inside if we like. So they're going to be offset of 0.25. So we're going to use offset. And right next to the cursor, it's going to specify offset distance, or, and it is going to have the word through if you're just starting up, or it's going to have the previous number that you use. So in this case, we're going to use 0.25. And what we're going to do is just click on each one, and we're going to click to the inside 4 times. And then we're going to hit the enter button to end that command. Now we're going to restart it using the same number. And we just hit the enter button to acknowledge that. And we're just going to fill it in here. Now, when you do this, you have to make sure you go far enough away from it. You're going to do it 4 times in each direction. And that may have bounced the wrong direction because I didn't go far enough. So you do that all the way around. Now, if you don't want to do it all the way around, here is another option for you. It's to use mirror. So I'm actually going to get rid of these. And before I mirror, I'm going to trim. And trim, hit the button, and just make a little window around this or fence. And I'm just going to cut off each one of these, like so. Now, mirror, what I'm going to do is click on mirror, select all 9 of these little lines here. And I'm going to hit the enter button. And I'm going to pick a point because it's going to ask me to specify a base point. So I'm going to pick here. So I'm going to move my mouse up or down. I'm going to click once, hit the enter button once. Now, you can only know what we're doing next. We're simply going to mirror the rest of them. So we're going to mirror. This time, I am actually going to make a window inside of this whole thing here. So I'm going to get all of those lines at one time. Then, to get these out of my selection, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and make a window around those to deselect them. Then I'm going to hit the enter button afterward. So I'm going to pick another point. And it could be any of these points. It doesn't necessarily have to be the ones on the outside. I can choose that one just as well. All right, so I'm going to click to the right or the left. Now, if I click it up or down, it's going to go the wrong direction. So I'm going to go to either right or to the left. I'm going to click once. And it's going to ask me, do I want to erase the source objects? No, because I want to keep those. Those are the ones at the top. And I'm going to hit the enter button. And then the object is done. So to ensure that it is the right size, we're going to throw a couple of dimensions on here. And this should be roughly around 3.54. One horizontal, one vertical, and one aligned. Like so. So now I know that it is correct. All right, so next we have our Tic Tac Toe Board. And I'm going to switch back over to our object lines. And this time I'm going to use a rectangle again. And I'm going to do 8 by 8 this time. So 8 for horizontal, 8 for vertical, enter. And it's significantly bigger than the last object. Okay, so from here we're going to do a little offsetting and trimming. So This particular one is really just offset and trim. So our first offset is 0.25. And since we've already done 0.25, I don't have to be typing it. Just hit there in the button to acknowledge that. We'll click on the outside, come to the inside, click anywhere. All right, so next we're going to do offset again. This time it's going to be 0.62. And make sure that you come to the inside. If you go the wrong direction, you see how that flips that. So you don't want to go the wrong direction. So come to the middle, then click. All right, so now on this particular one, it's all connected together. But what we need to do is actually explode it. So it'll break into single lines. So we're going to use the explode command. We're going to select it. We're going to hit the enter button. And now they're all individual lines. And if you want to change the color, you can. But once you do this, make sure that you hit the escape button after you do that. So then that will bounce back from whatever color you changed it to by layer. So all three of these should say by layer all the time. All right, so next we're going to do our offsets again. And it's going to be 1.75. So we're going to offset each one of those lines to the inside. 1.75. And again, make sure that you click toward the middle. If you go in the wrong direction, it's going to flip to the outside of the object. All right, so from here, another 0.25 will be our offset. And click toward the middle. If you make a mistake, let's say you made a mistake and did that, you can type in the letter U, hit the enter button, it'll back up one step. All right, so that gives us that one. All right, so we hit the enter button to acknowledge. That's what we want to keep. And next is just a lot of trimming. So we're going to click on trim. We're going to hit the enter button. Now, if you type in trim, you hit the enter button twice, but if you click on it up here, just hit it once. And we're just going to go around and cut off all these little pieces. And we're going to go to the middle and clean out our intersections. If you miss, you can always make a little window. So instead of doing a lot of clicking, I'm just going to make these little windows. And with trim, you can change the mode that it is. Let's see. So we can also do, I think it's T. I don't like that selection, so we won't use T. Let's do R for erase. There we go. We're gonna do that. U and enter. So TR. We're gonna button twice. I'm doing a little fence thing. I don't want it to keep doing fence, but we'll do crossing mode. I think that's a letter O. We'll do standard. Yeah, there we go. So that's crossing mode. It does the same thing, which is what yours is already set at. All right. So that is both of them in a nutshell. All right. So again, we'll switch over, make sure our object is correct. We'll use linear. And we'll make a couple linear dimensions here. So it should be 8 inches. And usually if one is right, the other is probably right. If you're off some, then what you need to do is actually fix your object. And that one is off. Oh, it's off because it should be. That wasn't where I was supposed to have done this from. There we go. So it should be 1.75. Then from here to here. Now, if it doesn't connect to there, you can hold down the shift key, right mouse click, choose perpendicular, and then come up and touch the other one. And then it'll be sufficient enough. And it's just using the tracking system. A little tricky sometimes the way it acts. But if it doesn't pop back up, you can do the same thing. Hold down the shift key, right mouse click, choose perpendicular. Then you can actually touch the tip of this arrowhead and it will align all of them. Okay, so we're at 17 minutes. That's enough. All right. Those are the two.